Hi guys, if it's Tuesday, it's Down and Dirty WOODSCRAFT. Stay with me. Hi guys, okay, today we're going to talk about a piece of kit that you can make pretty easy. Now, I started playing with this design back in the 80s, and all it was simply a poncho and a poncho liner set up to be a sleeping bag. And then I started reading a series of books called Ranger Digest that I'd pick up at Fort Benning. And there was a former member of the Ranger battalions that they called Ranger Rick. And he gave you all kinds of tips and tricks and idea. And the innovation that he brought out was adding an emergency space blanket to the poncho set. And they called it a Ranger roll. Well, I was a little skeptical, to be honest with you, but I tried it and it did make a big difference and didn't add a whole lot of weight. So let's talk about that and what this applies with us today. Okay, this is it, kind of loosely rolled up. I could roll it much tighter than this. The weight of it is probably 2 pounds, probably not much over that if it's anything. And what advantage this has in it is it's a 3 components that are working together. One, it's a U.S. Army poncho. So you've got a shelter set, you've got rain gear, you've got a tent, you've got a tarp, etc. 2 is an emergency space blanket. Again, you've got a ground cloth, you've got a cover for warmth, you've got a reflective surface whenever you're trying to get the heat off of you. You've also got a surface that helps hold the heat for you. And 3rd, it's a U.S. Army WOOBIE or poncho liner, which acts as a blanket, a warmth, etc. We're combining all 3 of them into one item. Now, why would you combine them like that? It's actually a lot warmer than you would think. It makes a lightweight sleeping bag that can easily be used out in the hammocks or whatever during the summertime when you don't need a whole lot, but you do need something. Okay? Let my old fingers untie this right quick. Canadian jam knot, a BUSHCRAFT zip tie, always handy. Now, as you can see, what we've got here is the poncho liner. The tie goes through the eyelet of the emergency space blanket and then through the grommet on the poncho. This keeps them together and they're only tied together at the places. Now what I've done here is you take it, lay one on top of the other and create it by poncho on the bottom, then the emergency space blanket, shiny side toward me, and then the poncho liner. Now this is going to make a multi-layer trapped pockets of warm air. That's what makes it warmer than what you'd think it would be. 2 pieces of plastic and a little bit of insulation. Come on, Blackie, that's not going to be that warm. It is, because all 3 of these have their own memory. So they're creating dead warm air spaces. So it's a lot warmer than you'd think. It rolls up small and tight, and in this configuration I can utilize it as one unit for sleeping. Now what I do with it is, because each of these components are loosely tied together, is I come down here at the very bottom, what's going to be the foot of it, and I would tie these 2 together and then take the middle one and pull it up and tie it. That closes off the end of the sleeping bag. Okay? And then coming up the bag, I'm going to snap it with the snaps of the poncho. This will trap heat as it comes up. Now once I get about the 3rd snap, I'm now going to turn it upside down and drape it over me as a quilt. See? And so the foot is gathered up, roomy, so I can move my feet left or right, and it drapes around me on both sides, trapping that warmth. In a hammock, I put my feet up into this gathered pocket, lay it down, rotate left, tuck it under, rotate right, tuck it under, throw the rest over me. I'm fine. Since there's a poncho on the outside of it, if I get a little drip or whatever, I don't worry about getting wet because it's going to take care of that. Now it rolls up small and tight and makes it very easy and quick to utilize. Plus, I can take this apart. It's just tied together. It's not sewed together. So if I need the poncho, I've still got the emergency space blanket and the poncho liner together as a makeshift sleeping bag with now a shelter. I can mix or match the parts, do whatever the condition. So one item is doing 3 or more jobs at one time. That's why I like it. Okay, now let's do a quick demo. Take my haversack off, roll it out. I'm going to take this end, take the 2 ties on this end, and tie them together right quick. These ties are long enough that it goes through everything and gives you plenty of room to do a loose square knot. And I take the center section, fold it up, and I'm going to go through that with these ties, just like this. Keep those all together. Another quick little knot, just to hold it in place. Now, since it's waterproof, I don't have to worry so much about that. I can snap it, make sure it stays closed during the night, all at one side. I can throw it over me, or I can set it up just like this. Now I've got full coverage, I've got double layers on top of me, double layer underneath me to keep me dry, and then I've got the insulation of the poncho liner all in one. Use the haversack for a pillow, and we're set. Okay, now I've laid it out flat, folded it over, tucked anything loose to the middle of it, and made it about the width that I wanted. Now I just simply start rolling it down really tight. And those black bands you're seeing are duct tape, because this particular poncho had a rough life and had a couple of holes in it where it was used to drag across something. So I utilize it. It works as a poncho, but it also utilizes it this way as a Ranger roll. And when you get here to the end, you take this loose end and you fold it back over about, say about 6-8 inches, like that. Then you roll over it. Thus, one small compact. Now, holding on to it, I take my bushcraft zip tie with my Canadian jam knot in it. I come in about 4 inches on one end. Make sure everything's lined up. And I cinch that puppy to good. Come up here on this end, I go around, come back under, and I cinch that end down good. And then I come to the cross handle, I go under, come back up, come under the thing and put a half hitch in it. Now I got a handy anchor point. where I can hook it up under my haversack if I want to, or I could hook it hanging or anything else. This could be made into like a blanket roll and put dangling across the body. It doesn't add a lot of weight, but it does add a lot of versatility. So, why am I doing a Ranger roll? Well, it's now the transition. And in my bug out bag that I keep in my vehicle, I'm pulling out that old Model 49 down bag that I talked about in my other videos. It's got the tape all over it because it's old too. And I'll replace it with this. I don't need that 49 down during the summers of Alabama. But I might need a shelter. I might need a blanket. I might need a space blanket to use the shiny side to reflect heat off of me in the heat of Alabama. All of that rides in a quick, easy, handy thing that serves multiple functions. And that's why I want to carry it. Hope this gives you some ideas, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below. And until next time, I'm Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.